Hello and welcome. Today is Saturday, 21st day of October 2017. Welcome. My name is Derek. Everything you do is within your own risk and your own reward. And as I've entitled this video for that of just an intention for regular viewers, new and old. And when I say new and old, I don't base that on your age. You can be 20 years old and be an old viewer, in that if you've been watching me since you've been a teenager, you know a lot about market analogy, at least from what you've learned from me, if, of course, you are regular for that many years. In fact, I got to think there's a decent amount whom watched my videos before, have now unsubscribed, or barely watch it because you know what I'm going to say, and you're an expert yourself, maybe. And when I'm doing the amount of video time that I'm doing, well, I mean, 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes can be hard. And now lately I've been doing some 2-hour video contents per day. And I mean, a lot of people don't even have the time for that. But if you are really serious about winning the game, well, a lot of times that extra time can work out very, very beneficial, especially to the new followers. And you can be 75 or 80 and just barely understanding what technical analysis is, learning inverted head and shoulders for the first time in the past few months and such, and learning a lot of new ideas. And as you watch more, it's going to become very obvious to the things that I'm going to say. For example, on this 15-minute time frame, I'm going to be talking about how it broke this resistance, and I'm going to talk about how it's established a set. I'm trying to say it. I can't even say it. You know what I'm going to say, but it's basically announced that it's breaking higher to another floor, something like that. I would be talking about a move back down to this 18 average and how it's retraced towards here. You might even be ready for me to talk about, well, the if scenario of a failed breakout. You break a key level of resistance, and then you make a quick move back within the band, and then quickly after that, within maybe 4, 5, 6 periods, or instantly, a move below it. And when you see that, you can expect some sudden declines to happen soon. And for myself, I've switched over to the daily, but if I were to ever find a channel that I think could help me so much, especially when I don't have as much time to go over it, but I have enough time to go over the information provided and then do the actions that's necessary, provide my own risk and own reward in the plays, well, I would do it. And two of the main reasons why I keep doing this like this is because there was somebody whom helped me out a lot. And I'm going to put a link in the more information box to this channel. His name is Shannon from alphatrends.net. He covers the stock market. And when I learned in 2007, the summer, for the first time, I was young at trading. I never made a trade. I never even considered the thought of profiting in the market, even though I was a fairly experienced gambler. And I mean, I should be aware of things within that nature, and of course calculated gambling being one of them. So you would have asked me back in 2007, where do you make money gambling? Well, definitely poker. You can bet on some sports, and if you get good, that can be very profitable as well. And if you want to learn how to count in blackjack, and I've even heard of a possible way in roulette. I'm not going to go there. And I'm not talking about the shifting of the tables and such, but that's what I wouldn't have said stock market. And I heard about it, started learning in 2007, 2008, 2009. I started learning a lot. It was fantastic. And then it got to the point where I pretty much knew exactly what he was going to say within his style. I made his ideas my own, and that's what I'm hoping I do with my content, is making that I can make my ideas your own ideas. And then as time went on, I'm not really trading the actual stock market, and I'd watch now and again, but that's what happens. You learn, and then you move on forward. And then when you learn more and more things, the advanced stuff that you can get into and experience within bankroll management through time, and once you make mistakes, you're aware of mistakes, you see the same situation patterns come in again, and it's brilliant. And that happened to me just recently. I made a mistake within the entire month of July holding a large amount of alternate cryptocurrencies. And I probably should have known better, although I do have a very good risk-reward strategy for my portfolio. Risk-reward is job number one for me. That's something Shannon has said to me, or said to in his videos many times. And that's exactly what I had it set out as. But I could have lost a lot more, and I definitely could have lost a lot less, which is exactly what's happening to me now. It was on October the 4th, which is this day on here, when two things happened. I found out about Bitcoin Gold, and that was the day as well that Cliff High released his Webbot report for $100 US. And because after thinking, well, I'm probably going to be getting out of altcoins, and he takes payments and whatever, I'll pay him in Dash because I'm getting out of Dash right now, and I got no Dash right now. I had a lot back then. So I paid $100. And after reading his report, knowing I got to read it like a crossword puzzle or just read between the lines, basically, I'm reading and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is probably going to mean Bitcoin going way higher and the alts going lower. So to say that if I'm going to buy his next report or not, I've already profited and then some on the $100 US that I spent. Of course, currently there is one channel that I watch in which has great free information in which I really do utilize. Now, I really can't tell you that channel yet because I'm going to be doing a contest soon, and if I were to tell you that channel, that would almost make the first one way too easy, and I want to make it an extreme challenge. I want to see if no one is going to win. That's how hard I want to make it, but make it very winnable. And that contest, yeah, I'll let you know when it's going to come out. What day is it today? Saturday? In 24 hours from the upload of this video, I will put a contest out. I'm not going to announce it any other time but now. It's going to be only one winner. The first person with the correct answer in the comments section will win. It will not be an easy one. I will give you a clue to what the next two contests will be for a subject, because I don't think there's going to be a winner in the first one, but I hope there is. The clue is sports for the first one, and an additional clue is what do I really care about sports? And the second one will be cryptocurrencies. But since this date, I put out a video and I stated throughout the month of October, I am going to be selling alternate coins, distributing them, and accumulating, thus buying Bitcoin. I had well more than half my portfolio in alternate coins. Today, I got well over 80%, or noticeably more than 80% in Bitcoin. Now, hindsight's 2020. After reading that, I could have sold everything. I could have done it within a few hours. And I could have even sold the main stuff, the easy stuff. And I could have done that within the hour or two. And then an hour waiting for some transfer time waiting, but then there's not much time after that because I'd have to send some cryptos to Bittrex and then sell it there. Some transfers could take an hour, 2 or 3, but throwing that part aside, I basically could have been at the Bitcoin number that I was, just let it ride and wait for this to go through and just hold my Bitcoins and go long on such. And obviously what a good chart to go long on. But I only sold a decent okay amount and I was planning on selling through it. So to say that I was a little surprised of this fast gain and the alts losing as fast as they did so quickly, yes and no. Yes, because I didn't think it would happen so quick, but no, I was expecting this move to happen. And I was thinking to myself, man, I knew this thing was going to happen, and we're moving here before this break above the 5, and I'm down. Let me just do some numbers in my head. I was down as much as 3 plus that is 5. I was down as much as like 9% in less Bitcoin numbers than I was from this point. That was not fun. Now I'm only down about 3% right here from this point. Back in July, I probably lost about, oh man, that was pretty bad on August the 1st on that morning. I didn't have many Bitcoin compared to the month prior. Probably lost a good 14, 15%, 16%. It was not fun. Maybe even 17%, 20. It was a lot. I did not like that. Anyway, fool me once. Yeah, well, you didn't get me here. So I like how I've been playing this. I mean, if you've been watching my video, you're not going to be surprised that I'm saying this because I've said this in many of them. My general way of thinking on the near term is that this is going to make a move to 60, a break of 65. That's the best way of putting it. Most likely a good chance that it might go a little higher and resist. But at that stage, just a good chance it will resist around 7,000. When the break of 6,500 occurs, the definite and probable scenarios for me is number one, the definite is profit-taking portfolio. I will be buying a kilo of silver, physical, and I will be withdrawing, I'll be using it as money for at that time. Because my thinking, the whole ride with Bitcoin is, unless you need it now, buy the stuff you need in the intermediate term time frame of your life during peaks of Bitcoin. Intermediate term of your life. If there's something you need for Christmas right now, maybe you can consider it, possibly. Yeah, I'm not against it, actually. If it's something you need for February or March, I wait. If it's something you need into November, I mean, come on, for sure. That's intermediate term. Because think of it this way. How much of a genius were you to buy silver here with Bitcoin? Short term, very much so. Long term, if you held the Bitcoin and did nothing with it and decided to buy silver now, you're getting a lot more than double what you would have got. So you got to look at it at multiple levels. That's why if you are buying stuff you really don't need like that, you don't have to. Now let's get clear here for a second. Using it as money, meaning I go to the grocery store and my groceries are covered via Bitcoin. Gas in the vehicle, covered by Bitcoin, and so on and so forth. Well, those are your normal purchases. Yeah, that's fine. Those are short to intermediate term payments. But silver, let's get real here for a second. Even if I needed to sell it, I got it. And the fact that I got it, do I need to get more? Now, I'm a huge believer that if you got a decent amount of cryptocurrencies and you got no physical silver, in my opinion, okay, I mean, it's your choice, but diversity, safeness, okay, anyway. But when you have silver, then it all comes down to how I look at it, the ratio of your silver to your cryptos. And because of price action and successful trading, the way things are going is not an uncommon thing for this to go much higher to this ratio. So therefore, taking a little bit out of this, inserting into this, diversifies portfolio. Furthermore, tail risk. Worst case scenario, possible situations that are inevitable, that you don't see, the black swan events. At least if you're taking some out, you are profit taking to ensure yourself you can't get screwed in any kind of bubble. Now, when you're hardly pulling anything at all out, you're going to take a big loss if it happens anytime soon. But if you do it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 50 times over, and Bitcoin, say, gets to, say, 50,000, we'll assume hypothetically, and it tops and the tulip mania begins. Bitcoin goes from 50,000 and now we're back down below 1,000. Well, everything your profit took on the way up and anything you took on the way down through fear or through knowledge it was going to keep going lower is protection against that event. So those are the reasons, two reasons, in which I am turning cryptos into silver. If you want to make a calculated, aggressive play based on the Bitcoin to silver ratio, even how your trading is going, it could even be that, okay, I'm going to have a lot more Bitcoins based on its price and how many I'm going to trade for, that I'm not going to buy any right now. Wait some more, trade some more, increase this Bitcoin number, watch the Bitcoin price go into 5 digits, hope that silver doesn't break 50, because even if silver goes to 30 or 40, this doesn't matter too much. This strategy would still work well. And then just buy. Let's put it this way. Let's assume you are worth 1 Bitcoin now, or per Bitcoin unit, just to make it easy numbers. And you wanted to buy. We got a ratio of about 350 plus, let's just say you can buy 300 ounces with that today. Okay, so be it. Now, let's assume that through a half a year, you're able to get close to 1% a day on your portfolio, which for the last 8 months, I have crushed the 1% number by about 1.1 something, 1.18, whatever, it's doable. But you do so well that you can turn 1 Bitcoin into, say, 3. And by the way, that is well under 1% now. But for this number, we use it as 3. And Bitcoin prices will, say, double to 12,000. Or the ratio, will say, goes from, well, you think the ratio will go to 350 to 7. But let's just say silver does okay. The ratio is 600 to 1. There's where the risk reward comes into play. And then what happens if you do 7 times better and the ratio goes much higher, because we're talking 20, 30,000 Bitcoin maybe, because maybe you go longer term out, maybe a year and a half out. So the ratio goes to the point where you can get maybe 1,000. It's 1,000 to 1. 7 times 1,000 is 7,000. 7,000 divided by 300 is well greater than 20. It's about 23. There's a lot of reward. When we talk about risk reward, this is calculating reward. Calculating risk is any way silver outperforms Bitcoin, of course, but the realistic way, Bitcoin just starts rolling over, and then it doesn't matter what silver is going to do, the ratio is going to go lower. Okay, so that's what I'm definitely going to do. Buy silver, buy some actual money, and take out a very low percentage. My plan, and I'm going to be sticking to it, is when portfolio values rise, mainly because of the increase in Bitcoin numbers and the price of Bitcoin, take out no more than 5% until there is reason that the secular bull market is coming close to an end. That is how I'm playing it. So if in 3 weeks, if I say if this happens, say later today or tomorrow, it goes to like that number, I'll buy some silver. I'll do what I need to do to get use it as money. And then let's just say 3 or 4 weeks later, it goes to 8,000 or 9,000. Well, my portfolio is higher. Even if I lose my Bitcoin number is 6 or 7% lower, I'm still in a situation where I can pull another under 5% out and do it all over again. Now, as far as what I'm probably going to do at this time and definitely start getting into, I've already placed buy orders in for alternate coins for decent sized levels. I'm going to start buying these coins up. And when I see things like forks coming through, technical indicators playing in, I'm probably going to get a lot more aggressive. Right now, I'm about 82% bit and 18% alt. There's a good chance I'm going to go to 70% alt, 30% bit within a few weeks. Always adjust to the message of the market and be aware, be there for what's going on, and just be a notification. And the more aware you are, the better off you're going to be. Long term, I mean, it's always a wild card. So the best I can do is play on the web bot, knowing that time is going to come through forward. That's going to change things. That's always the way life is. But early prospects look as if, as we move into the new year, price action is going to have a nice break over the 10K number, where I would probably do well greater than a 5% cash out, and I would most likely buy a decent amount of stuff like the Tether, alternate coins. I'm going to get in and out of Bitcoins and altcoins throughout that time on the way, but when we get to that key point, probably buy altcoins like you normally should be doing on Bitcoin peaks. And yeah, I do think there might be a decent sized pullback, but I think it's going to be a successful long-term pullback. Let's put a weekly chart up. But before we do, an update on the 5-minute time frame. If you're a regular watcher, you know what I'm going to talk about. If you're new, it's a very bullish situation as you have left this 18 average of lows. Quick response back up to the 18 average of highs. Now leaving the 18 average of bands after, and this is the word I was looking for from the start, after making a statement in here in which you are ready to make new all-time highs and bull markets on pretty much every time frame. So the weekly. And when I look at the number 8,500 within this logarithmic chart, sitting within this distance, which is nice, but it's nothing extravagantly huge, then it becomes reasonable that isn't that far off when it has just broken this key resistance. So long term, how I'm viewing the market, as I was stating, break late winter to a good 30% or so break above 10K, that we might get a serious move and a violation of this 18 average of lows, where it will flatten out and at least have one small leg lower. That's probably what I'm going to be expecting. And within that time, holding the Tether as well as holding altcoins will probably be the play. But of course, as time moves on, the information of what happens is going to be there. But the most likely event is that is how it's going to be played. And then after you notice it makes a significant move, I think below the 18 average of lows, is then where you're going to really want to start accumulating Bitcoin really heavy again. Of course, don't count out buying it when, like, let's assume it goes to say let's assume it's right, somewhere around 14. And even if you sell at 14, it goes to 18 and it rolls over, that could still work. But if, say for example, this happens, and when I say sell, I'm not meaning sell everything, but it might mean having 20% Bitcoin kind of deal. It could be really low, but throwing that aside, selling at 14, if it starts to go down and it makes a move to the 18 average of lows, obviously at peak point, it's going to be well below where it is. So maybe it reaches the 18 average of lows at, say, 10K. After all, if you sold anywhere in this high area and bought at this 18 average of lows, you worked out like a bandit. And that's going to work every single time as long as this bull market's in play until it's not. So in that situation, when it doesn't work, let's assume it gets to 14, you buy at 10K, we'll say. Maybe you can get some short scalps, maybe it keeps going lower. And then a decent break below that might be somewhere in the area of like 7K or 6K or 6150.05. I mean, but a decent sized pullback. And going from 14,000 to 6,000 on a crypto, I mean, yeah, okay. Nothing to see here. Everything's working normal. A standard long-term correction. Of course, when it's ready, it would probably play something like that. So then, I'm going to conclude this video, but like a soap opera, I want to do this whole, like, building up this climax thing, the suspense, because that short-term Bitcoin chart was sure looking good. And 6150 is a nice little price. Let's take a look at that chart that I opened with. And at this time, there's not much more to state other than it has just hung in around the 18 average of highs. There's 3 minutes and 49 seconds left in a 15-minute time period. So over a 12-minute session, it's had low volatility, hanging in at a newly rising 18. So it's bullishly holding in there. That type of situation gives me optimism that over the next 2 to 3 periods, we're going to start to see price action leave the 18 average of highs noticeably, with a further probable chance of breaking this resistance and creating the next leg higher. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.